Coronation Street sets up Theo's downfall as Billy death mystery reignites. Coronation Street is set to revisit Billy Mayhew's heartbreaking death next week as suspicion begins to grow over who was truly to blame. Although Debbie Webster recently took complete responsibility for the devastating Corriedale crash that caused chaos back in January, her release from prison could now pave the way for the real story to finally emerge. In next week's episodes, Ronnie Bailey agrees to ease up on Carl for Debbie's sake. Carl appears clearly relieved by Ronnie's decision, though it remains uncertain whether Ronnie genuinely means it. But even if Ronnie backs off, Carl won't stay out of trouble for very long. That's because someone else is about to start asking dangerous questions. Summer Spellman is left stunned when Abby Webster suggests that Debbie may not actually have been the one driving the car on the night of the crash that ultimately led to Billy's death. Still mourning the loss of the man she saw as a father figure, Summer soon becomes determined to uncover what really happened. Later on, Debbie is visibly unsettled when Summer corners her at the hotel and demands answers. However, Carl quickly steps in and redirects Summer's focus elsewhere. Rather than pointing the finger at Debbie, he hints that Billy's real killer may be much closer to home. Viewers will remember that Theo Silverton abandoned Billy to die during the explosive Corriedale special back in January. Even though Theo had the chance to help him escape, he instead made Billy's situation even worse by leaving him trapped inside the crashed minibus. Only moments later, the vehicle burst into flames. A few days after the tragedy, a guilt-ridden Theo was seen reflecting on what he had done as he visited Billy's body at the funeral parlor. Unbeknown to him, Carl overheard Theo's emotional confession, but chose not to say anything after Theo discovered some of Carl's own dark secrets. Now that Carl is beginning to let some of the truth slip out, the question is whether Summer will work out that he is really talking about Theo. And if she does, could Theo finally be exposed for his role in Billy's death? Or has Carl once again managed to dodge accountability for what happened in the crash? Speaking back in January about the decision to kill off Billy, ITV soap boss Ian McLeod explained that the storyline needed a major emotional payoff. He said the Corriedale special was designed to deliver a dramatic and unforgettable climax. McLeod also paid tribute to Dan Brocklebank, who played Billy, describing him as a hugely important part of the show, both on-screen and behind the scenes. But while Billy's death marked a powerful ending, McLeod suggested it also served another purpose, revealing just how dark and dangerous Theo was capable of becoming. Megan returns to Coronation Street, a nightmare revisited for Will and Sam. Just as Sam Blakeman believed he had finally dismantled the life of predator Megan Walsh, she has resurfaced. The question remains, has she managed to tighten her grip on Will Driscoll once again? While Sam has always been a fan favorite, his recent heroics have cemented his status as a Weatherfield icon. The young detective accomplished what the local authorities failed to do. He saw past the perfect facade of athletics coach Megan, identifying her as a dangerous individual who was grooming young Will into a disturbing illegal relationship. Exposing Megan was a grueling ordeal. To protect her secrets, the manipulative Miss Walsh launched a psychological war against Sam, even going as far as sabotaging his academic records. Knowing that his education is Sam's pride and joy, Megan struck where it hurt most. Her relentless bullying drove the terrified boy to a breaking point, leading him to misuse unprescribed Ritalin in a frantic bid to fix his grades. The combination of chemical dependency and mental exhaustion eventually took its toll, resulting in Sam's sudden and terrifying collapse. Ironically, this medical emergency became Megan's undoing. While Sam recovered in the hospital, his adoptive mother, Leanne Battersby, and Will's stepmom, Eva Price, managed to comfort him enough for the truth to spill out. Megan was systematically abusing Will. However, anyone familiar with the drama of the Cobbles knows that nightmares rarely end so cleanly. Megan is a calculating adversary who has meticulously hidden her tracks. When Sam attempted to trap her using hidden surveillance, she pivoted effortlessly, delivering a convincing performance of a teacher shutting down a harmless crush. During her interrogation with PC Kit Green, she weaponized her tears and played the victim, fully aware that physical proof of her crimes is virtually non-existent. Save for the pregnancy resulting from the day she took Will's virginity at the Chariot Hotel. Yet, with Megan refusing to provide a DNA sample, proving paternity in a legal setting remains a nearly impossible hurdle. Following a heated confrontation where Leanne threw Megan's belongings into the street, the abuser fled the area. Since then, the Driscoll family has been working tirelessly to deprogram Will, while Sam has been struggling to heal from the psychological scars of the past few months. That fragile recovery is set to be shattered in upcoming scenes. Sam is headed for a spine-chilling confrontation with both Megan and Will, but is the encounter real or a manifestation of his deepest fears? Tensions boil over on the cobbles. Is Sam losing his grip? While Leanne and Toya Battersby are locked in a heated debate inside the cabin regarding Sam's need for professional counseling, Will tracks Sam down at the bistro to offer a sincere apology for his past actions. Sam reluctantly agrees to a handshake, but his body language makes it painfully obvious that forgiveness is still a long way off. Later on, Toya attempts to reassure Sam, urging him to put the drama of Megan and Will behind him. Her words clearly fail to hit the mark. Down at the park swings, a hyper-focused Sam confesses to Hope Stape that he has been obsessively researching grooming statistics and legal cases. When Will wanders over to them, Hope immediately goes on the offensive, throwing sharp, sarcastic jabs about his elderly girlfriend. How will Will handle the confrontation? The friction only escalates when Will is spotted chatting with Liam Connor in Victoria Garden. Spotting them, Sam marches over and fiercely declares that he won't be broken by Will's psychological warfare. Will plays the part of the confused, innocent bystander perfectly. Is it all an act, or is Sam simply seeing threats where they don't exist? Reeling from the encounter, Will heads home to vent to Eva Price and Maggie, painting himself as the victim of Sam's unprovoked hostility. An enraged Eva wastes no time defending her stepson. She storms directly into the bistro to confront Nick Tilsley, Toya, and Leanne, launching into a furious tirade over Sam's slanderous behavior. The battle lines are officially drawn. Yet, the true climax of the nightmare occurs a short while later, when a routine trip to the precinct leaves Sam utterly paralyzed with shock. Standing right before his eyes are Megan and Will. Terrified and vindicated, Sam sprints home to alert Nick, Toya, and Leanne. Meanwhile, over at the Rovers, a defensive Eva questions Will about his whereabouts. He swears on his life that he has been at the pub the entire morning. With no one to back up his story, Sam is left looking utterly humiliated and discredited in front of his family. Retreating to the safety of the salon flat, Sam curls up on the couch, completely overwhelmed by a wave of paranoia and dread. Was the sighting merely a stress-induced hallucination, or is Megan genuinely back and pulling the strings once more?